Yatta. Hi everyone. To celebrate Aboriginal Children's Day this year on August the 4th, I'm going to be telling you the story of Tiddalik. So Tiddalik is a dreaming story that was told in many parts around Australia. It's a story I often do in the kindergartens, and when I go into the kindergartens, the children will sit around in a circle and they have one of the animals each so that they can join in with the story. Today I've got Jasmine and Charlie who are going to help with the story today. This is a story about Tiddalik the frog, and he was a big frog with a big thirst. So a long time ago in the dreaming, all the animals could talk to each other. And there was plenty of food and plenty of water for all the animals. And each morning, when the animals woke up, they would go down to the water hole to have a drink. And make the animals go and have a drink. And then when they finished having a drink, they hopped back in their circle. Now, in summertime in Australia, when it gets very hot and very dry and there's not much rain, there's not much water in the water hole. So all the animals were always very careful not to drink too much water because they wanted to make sure there was always some water left. But one night when all the animals went to sleep, are you making the animals go to sleep? Yeah. While they were sleeping, Tiddalik hopped down to the water hole and he started to drink the water. And as he was drinking, the water hole was getting smaller and smaller, and Tiddalik kept drinking. And the water hole was getting smaller and smaller, and Tiddalik kept drinking. And the water hole got smaller and smaller until there was no water left. And Tiddalik was very happy, and he sat back up on his rock and he had a big fat belly full of water. Now when the animals woke up, they went to get a drink of water and there was no water left. And they said, "Where's all the water?
Where's all the water?
Where's the water gone?"
Where's the water? In Tiddle's tummy!
Yes, the kangaroo looked up and said, "Look at Tiddalik's big fat tummy. I think he drank all the water." And all the animals agreed. Tiddalik must have drank the water. So they said, "Give us back our water, Tiddalik."
Give us back all our water.
But Tiddalik just sat on his rock and he didn't say anything. And the animals all said, "What will we do without water?"
What will we do with our water? What will we do without water?
Just then, the wombat, who was very wise, had an idea. And he said,
I have an idea!
yeah. He said, if we can make Tiddalik laugh, maybe the water will come back out. He said, if we can make Tiddalik laugh? So all the animals thought that was a good idea. So they decided to do some funny tricks to make Tiddalik laugh. Now the first animals to try and make Tiddalik laugh was the kangaroo and the emu. And the kangaroo, hop in the middle, kangaroo and emu. And the kangaroo jumped right over the top of the emu. Can you make him jump over the emu? Well done. And all the animals started laughing. But Tiddalik, he didn't laugh at all. He just sat on his rock. Now the next animals to try and make Tiddalik laugh was the possums. The possums decided to climb up the tree and hang upside down by their tails. So the possums hung upside down and swung around from the trees, and all the animals started laughing.
Now,
Tiddalik, he didn't laugh at all, not even a bit. Now the next animals to try and make Tiddalik laugh was the birds. Can you get the birds? And the birds said, I know, we'll tell some funny stories and jokes. So the birds started telling funny stories and funny jokes. Who's there? And all the animals started laughing at the jokes. But Tiddalik, he still didn't laugh. He still just sat on his rock. Now the next animal to try and make Tiddalik laugh was the eel and the snake. And they decided they'd do a funny dance. So they started to wriggle and jiggle, and they spun around and twirled around, and they got faster and faster and faster, and they got so fast they fell over plop on the ground. And all the animals started laughing. And Tiddalik, he started to smile. Then he started to chuckle. And then he started to laugh out loud. And as he was laughing, all the water was coming out of his mouth. And now all the animals could have a drink again. Can you make the animals all have a drink? And that's the story about Tiddalik, the frog with the big thirst. Can you give yourself a clap for doing such a good job helping? Nyata everyone. Today I'm going to do a song for you, and it's called Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree. You might know that song, but I'm wondering if you know what the Aboriginal word for kookaburra is. Some of you might know it. It's tākuk. So in the Aboriginal language, the local Aboriginal language, the Peak Wurrung language, a kookaburra is a tākuk. Now I'm going to use some other words in this song for the Aboriginal language as well. So for kookaburra, I'll use tākuk. For stop, I'm going to use kataka. Kataka is stop in the local Aboriginal language. And another word I'll be using that's a bit different is mare. And mare is the local Aboriginal word for nut or gum nuts. So remember, tākuk for kookaburra, mare for gum nuts, kataka for stop, and I'm sure you all remember, or you might know, the word for your bottom in the Aboriginal language. That's mum. So mum for bottom. Now there's one more word that I'll be using that's a little bit different, and it's the word for laugh, which is wieka. Wieka is laugh in the local Aboriginal language. So those are some of the local Aboriginal words that I'll be using in this song. So I hope you enjoy. Kookaburra, or tākuk, sits in the old gum tree. Tākuk sits in the old gum tree, merry, merry king of the bush is he. Wieka, tākuk, wieka, tākuk, happy you must be. Tākuk sits in the old gum tree, eating all the mare he can see. Kataka, tākuk, kataka, tākuk, leave some there for me. Tākuk sits on the electric wire, jumping up and down with his mum on fire. Ouch! Tākuk, ouch! Tākuk, hot your mum must be. Did you see that tākuk fly off at the end? Maybe he's gone to cool off his mum. You might be able to practice some of those Aboriginal words. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. Warwick. Tākuk, kookaburra, tākuk. Wieka, laugh, wieka. mare, gumnut, mare.